Hello folks, this is Walt Cannoy, broadcasting to you not live but pre-recorded from Cannoy Pipes Command Central. I am currently puffing on my beautiful Costas pipe, a reverse calabash. Why do they call it a reverse calabash? Seems to me like it's just like a chambered pipe or a system pipe, or I don't know. A calabash has a bowl that goes inside of a chamber. So you've got your tobacco chamber. In a calabash pipe, you have your tobacco chamber, then you have your cooling chamber, then you have your stem, and that's exactly what's going on here. But the industry has chosen to call it a reverse calabash, so this is a reverse calabash. Nice blue brindle stem on it. And this is by Costas. My good friend Costas. Came in this nice box. And it came with this card. And it came with the pipe sock in that box. Certificate of authenticity, I suppose. Won some really interesting pipes. I don't know that I've ever seen a more interesting repertoire of pipe shapes. Really neat stuff. I am the Cal Florida man, just to let you know. Costas and I were speaking at the Chicago Pipe Show just this few months ago, and we were talking about where we were from, and I was trying to explain to him that I'm from Florida, but I'm not from the part of Florida where there are beaches and roller coasters and things like that. I'm from the part of Florida where there are cows. And so I am Cal Florida man. But yeah, this is my very nice pipe from Costas, and it smokes very nice. But that's not why we're here, is it? While we're on things that do not pertain to why I'm actually making this video, this came in the mail this morning. This is a billiard from Jeremiah Sandahl. I met Jeremiah in Chicago last year at the 2013 show, and I've kind of taken to helping him out a little bit in his pipe making journey. For the record, I do not take on students. I do not teach pipe making. However, Jeremiah was very enthusiastic about his work, and usually when you get a new pipe maker coming up to you saying, "Hey, will you critique my pipe?" and you ask them if they want you to be honest, and they say, "Yeah, be honest," and then you're honest, they usually storm off in a huff and stamp their feet and get pissed off and call you names and stuff like that. And Jeremiah was the guy who just sat there and took it and just soaked the information up and just asked more questions, and had a really open mind and wanted to improve. So Jeremiah and I have been corresponding back and forth ever since then, and he sends me stuff to look at and critique, kind of see where his work is going firsthand. let me tell you something. He's really got to the point where if you want a really nice pipe, a really nice handmade pipe, and a good deal on it, he's just about to the point where he's going to take off. And I don't know if your money would be better spent elsewhere. So you might want to go check his stuff out. This is Jeremiah's card. I'm sure his website's still the same. I'm pretty sure I got this card from him last year, but you might want to go check that out. And while I'm plugging pipe makers and websites and stuff like that, you might want to check out my own website at waltcannoy.com. I think I do still have one pipe available on there at the moment. Also, I think I've still got a couple of pipes available on smokingpipes.com. Check out my Instagram page, where I'll be posting lots of pictures of pipes in progress and mostly pipe stuff, but occasionally I'll post something from my daily life and what's going on. And also be sure to check out my Facebook page, so that you can stay in touch with me and see what's going on a daily basis. And if you do not have your annotations turned on, you won't be able to see all those links. And what I just did there with my fingers will seem pretty weird to you. So, I'm here to talk about Meerschaum pipes, so let me get my Meerschaum pipe stuff together and I'll be right back. Hey, and I'm back. I'm sorry. If you hear me pause like that, of course, I am taking a puff. So just bear with me. I can hardly chew gum and smoke at the same time. Or, yeah, that wouldn't work, would it? Yeah, so pretty much anything I do, I've got to be smoking. So that includes making this video. So there you have it. Now, what do we have here? Okay, Meerschaum. That's what we're doing a video on. Meerschaum. This is Meerschaum. This is a Meerschaum stone. This is about what they look like when I get them, only when I get them, they are wet and soft. Actually, they kind of look a little more like a peeled potato when I get them. This piece has dried out. It had a big crack in it. Right there, actually. And it goes kind of deep, but I was pretty afraid of what that would do, so I just set this one to the side, and it has since dried out. But dried out, they're pretty chalky. But it's light. It's a light stone. Here's another sliver of Meerschaum. I know a lot of people get concerned about, this was actually cut off the side of a stone so I could square it off before I started working it. A lot of people are concerned about the fragility of Meerschaum, and some of the more intricate carvings can be quite fragile and delicate, where the Meerschaum is thin. Imagine chalk, if you would. But this piece right here couldn't be more than 1/4, 3/8 or so of an inch thick. And I would be hard pressed to break it at its thickest point. Let me try this corner here. It takes quite a bit of force to break it. So if you've got a standard shape or something like that, don't worry about the fragility of it too much. This here is a piece of a Meerschaum pipe that I was making, and of course it was still wet at the time, and I found that it had a big inclusion, much like a piece of briar would have a big void inside of it, or a big pit. Briar or Meerschaum sometimes has that as well. It will have small air pockets or whatever inside of it. This one just happened to go too deep, and so I got really angry and frustrated and slammed this down on the ground, the concrete floor of my workshop. Like I said, at the time it was still wet. It had not yet dried out since it had been mined, and at that point, it's actually slightly malleable, kind of like a bar of soap. So this one actually deformed just a little bit when it hit the ground, but it didn't come apart, and I was quite surprised. Since then, it had dried out, and I wanted to do the drop test on it, and I'm always just messing with stuff just to see what would happen. And this one, I decided to do the drop test after it dried out. So I dropped it on the concrete, and it didn't seem to do anything. I think maybe it dented it a little bit or something. So then I didn't slam it down, but I sort of propelled it towards the floor a little bit, and again it didn't do anything. And in the end, it took a couple of tries of actually slamming it into the concrete to get it to break apart like this. Now, I don't recommend doing anything like that with your beloved Meerschaum pipe. More often than not, just as a result of Murphy's Law, if you drop your Meerschaum pipe, it's going to break, because chances are it's going to hit just right, and you're going to snap the shank off, or the thinnest part, or whatever. So so don't do that. But if you're worried about how fragile your pipe might be, just in everyday use and handling, do not worry about that at all. Obviously, don't bang it up against anything. Don't use those. They've got those cork knockers in the middle of an ashtray, and you knock it. Don't do that. I mean that's not going to hurt it, holding it by the bowl, of course. But if you're holding it by the shank, and this is any pipe, not just Meerschaum's. If you're holding it by the shank or by the stem, that's a good way to snap off your shank, or snap off your tenon, or break something like that. So don't use those knockers. You get your little pipe nail that costs pennies, and just scoop out your tobacco. My well-worn pipe nail. Now, as you're smoking your Meerschaum pipe, oh, for God's sake, don't touch the bowl. Everybody, first of all, let me show you what I've got here. By the way, this is the first Meerschaum pipe that I ever made. This was my prototype, and was always intended to be mine, and is mine. It is Meerschaum up to this sterling ring. Beyond that, it is natural ivory, and then a hand-cut ebonite stem. So that's my Meerschaum, kind of a squat billiard, nice little chubby billiard. And this one here is, if you see in the Meerschaum pipe collection on my website, Meerschaum number 7. This here is its immediate predecessor and almost its twin brother, but it's like its evil twin brother, because this one came out with a couple of spots in the Meerschaum itself that I didn't feel qualified it to receive my stamp and to be sold. So this one was donated to my own collection by me, because it didn't make the grade. So these are my own Meerschaum pipes. This one I've been smoking for probably about a month or so, maybe a little more. This one I've been smoking since, I don't know, January or February of this year, something like that. Um, so anyway, where was I? Let me go back. Um, yeah, for God's sake, everybody says don't touch the bowl, don't handle the Meerschaum part of it. It's gonna do crazy things to it, and as you can see, I'm quite comfortable with fondling my Meerschaum. Um, so if that's your thing, if you want to touch the bowl or hold the bowl or touch the Meerschaum or whatever, go ahead and do that. It's not going to hurt it in the slightest bit. I do it all the time. If you're smoking it, once it's warmed up, um, the more you hold it, the more it will affect the evenness of the coloring. Um, Now that is true, and when it's cooling down, it is possible to leave fingerprints on it. But the fingerprints are only temporary. They'll go away as soon as it warms back up. But don't be afraid to handle your Meerschaums just like they would, just like you would, a briar pipe or whatever. When they're cool, when they're at rest, so you can handle them and admire them and not have to worry about messing up the coloring or the Meerschaum. Now, once you've lit it up, if you're holding it and you're always holding it in the same place while you're smoking it, it's going to heat unevenly, and that's going to do some weird things to the coloring. It would make it color unevenly. If you change hands a lot or something like that, or hold it here, that's not going to be quite as bad. Some people don't mind a little uneven coloring, like just like a tie-dyed t-shirt or, whatever. Gives a little extra added character. I gotta go back for a second, and I apologize to those of you who are fans of a tie-dye t-shirt, but maybe that wasn't a good example. I don't know where that came from. Personally, I don't really care for tie-dyed t-shirts, and I wouldn't really consider them the benchmark of patina and high quality coloring of and wearing of materials showcase. But anyway, there you have it. You get what I mean anyway. So so yeah, don't be afraid to handle it when it's cold. When it's warm, that's a little different story. It's entirely up to you. Now, a lot of people have asked me about wax. And let me tell you something about wax in Meerschaum. Of course, the Meerschaum is dipped in wax after the pipe is finished and before it is shipped off and sold to the customer. Now, this is a sliver of Meerschaum that I have prepared, and I have prepared it by dipping half of it, this half here, in wax, and this half here is raw Meerschaum, just like this stone or this little piece that I can break right here. Anyway, so this is raw and this has wax. And one thing that wax does to the Meerschaum is it will actually soak in and add a little bit of translucency, a little bit of transparency to the Meerschaum. So as you can see, this is very thin on the edges and then thick towards the middle, and you can actually see where I've waxed half of it that has become somewhat transparent there towards the thinner parts on the edges. And if I were to soak it longer in the wax, that transparency would soak into to even thicker parts, and that line of transparency will of course grow further down. But there you have it. You can see, of course, the half that was waxed has some nice transparency to it. And what that does is, as the Meerschaum pipe colors, that will give you some richer, deeper tones to it, and allow the color to come out quicker. The deeper that the wax has set in, the coloring process will occur quicker because of that translucency. Being able to see the coloring that has occurred inside of the meerschaum, and being able to have that manifest to the outside even quicker. As you can see, the coloring on these two pipes are coming along at pretty nearly, the same rate. Even though I've been smoking this one since the beginning of the year, and this one for only about a month. Of course, the walls on this one are much thinner, so that coloring process is happening a lot quicker. Now, let me stop my camera for a second and be back to show you something else.
What are you looking at?
Now, a lot of people have asked me about adding wax or adding beeswax or coating beeswax on your pipe as you smoke it or after you get it. Got a lot of emails about that. And one quick note as an aside, I've got a lot of emails in general, and I'm way behind on answering my emails. So if you're waiting for an answer to an email, I've got like a month backlog or something right now. So hold tight, and I try to answer all of them, and I'll get with you. If you're waiting on an answer about commissioning a pipe, I'll still reply to you individually, but please know that I am not accepting commissions right now. I'm not accepting commissioned work at the moment, and I don't think I will be in the foreseeable future. I haven't for quite some time, unless, of course, your name is Linwood. We have already discussed that a little bit, but otherwise, yeah, I'm not accepting requests for commissions right now. I do have some pipes available. One available on my website, two available at smokingpipes.com at the time of this recording. And if you're watching this video in the future, check out my website for availability also. So what I wanted to talk about right now is adding wax. People have been sending me emails about adding wax. They want to know if they can wax, add beeswax to their meerschaum, and if it helps the coloring. And I will say emphatically, yes, absolutely, it does. It does help it color quicker to add wax. What I like to do is this. These are little wax beads. I got them off of eBay. They're actually cosmetic. It's cosmetic grade natural white beeswax, unscented, uncolored, nothing added to it. It's just pure beeswax in these little pellets here. And one of the things that I like to do is to sprinkle some of those on a paper towel, like so. I'm trying to make a video, so I'm trying to do this quickly. You might want to use a little more caution and not get them all over your workbench or your dining room table or wherever you're doing that. Also, you take a heat gun, trying not to blow them off of the paper towel. And I don't know if you can see, but they're starting to melt. And as they start to melt, they will resist blowing off of the paper towel. This isn't the only way to, basically the idea here is to get some wax melted onto the paper towel. This isn't the only way to do it. Another way would be to, I don't know, heat it up in a mug and let it drip onto the paper towel. But at any rate, get you some wax melted onto a paper towel like so. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to light up this pipe. Before I do that, I want you to notice right here at the shank, there's a little bit of white. If I can get this thing to focus. So right here at the shank, there's a little bit of white, this little white ring around here. That's going to go away as soon as this heats up. And also when it heats up again, you'll notice the overall color becoming a little bit richer and darker than what it is actually right now. Let me stop the video, heat this up, and show you how I add wax to it.
What's all this over here, sir? Oh, that? Oh, those are some tropical leaves. They were sent to me by a friend of mine who hunts in that part of the country.
All right, folks, I'm back. I am currently smoking some McClellan number 27 in that bamboo Meerschaum I just showed you. This is my wax impregnated paper towel, and this is the pipe that I'm currently smoking. You can see as it warmed up, that little white band has almost now completely disappeared. So the bowl of this pipe is nice and warm. And what I'll do at this point usually, and you know, I might do this I don't know, maybe once every couple of weeks or something like that, just whenever you want to. I'll actually take that wax impregnated paper towel and wrap it around the bowl like that and smoke it. And I don't know if you can see that. Oh, see, that wax is starting to melt and getting into the Meerschaum. So I'll just, you know, lightly rub it around there, rub it around the bowl. So as I smoke the bowl down, the bottom warms up a little more. I'll rub it down the bottom, hold it there while I'm puffing on it. And puff a little bit and tamp. There. And that's what I do. That's how I add wax to the Meerschaum as it's being smoked. And kind of wipe around the shank a little bit. So, you know, it's your pipe. Make it yours. Wipe some on the rim there. Make it yours. Don't be too concerned about, you know, breaking it, messing it up, whatever. In the end, what's going to happen is it's going to develop unique characteristics, unique to your style of smoking, and to your method of handling it, and your method of adding wax to it, and that's what ultimately is going to give it that unique color and unique character that everybody's looking for in their well-loved patinaed Meerschaum pipe. One last thing that I would like to show you, I'm actually going to let this cool down, and you might notice, it's hard to see, but you might notice that the surface of the pipe is no longer quite as shiny as it was before I lit it up, and that's because the wax is warm. It is softened. Now if you don't touch it while it's warm, of course it will stay shiny, but now it has lost that nice glossy finish that we can see very clearly on this one. See how this one's much shinier than this one. So I'm going to stop the video once more, let this one cool back down, and show you how to get that gloss back out of it. Alright guys, I'm back. My bamboo meerschaum has cooled almost completely to the touch. And in the meantime, I've been smoking my other meerschaum that you saw earlier and giving it the same treatment. It's still wet with wax, but I've been treating that with the paper towel with wax in it. And as you can see, this is still dull and not quite shiny like it was before I started. So let me show you how to get that shine back out. And what you're going to need for this is a cool Meerschaum pipe and a soft cotton cloth. Now you can get a little cotton polishing cloth or whatever, have something dedicated to this part of the process. That's fine. I use a t-shirt. I use a cotton t-shirt. So I'm out of the way a little bit so you can see. And I'm just gonna grab that bowl and rub it with the t-shirt. Just like you polish anything else. Just give it a nice firm, not hard, but firm rub with that soft cotton cloth. And if I can get it to focus, I think you'll see that that nice glossy shine is coming back out. See it reflecting. Yeah. It's as easy as that. Once that wax is cooled down and hardened back up again, you know, it's not a hard wax like carnauba wax, but the wax combined with the meerschaum makes it very easy to polish up to a nice high gloss with nothing more than the pressure of your fingers and a nice cotton cloth. So there you have it. We've got this one that's that I just put down and it's cooling down, and that one. Now another thing that's a concern, and I just want to touch on this real quick. Another thing of concern with the Meerschaum pipes is letting cake build up inside them. It's true you do not want to let a thick layer of cake build up inside your Meerschaum pipes. A very thin layer is fine. The idea there is that when the cake, if the cake is too thick, it'll be strong, and when you light it up, it will expand quicker than the outside portion of the Meerschaum, and the pressure will make your Meerschaum crack. This has happened. It does happen. It can happen. So you don't want to let a lot of cake build up. What I'll usually do, I haven't cleaned this one out yet, is you know, get your pipe cleaner and fold it in half and stick it down in there and kind of scrub the walls pretty good to get off anything, you know, loose that may otherwise serve to help develop a thick cake. And I do that after each smoke. Now usually maybe once a month or so, and this will vary depending on how often you smoke your pipes. But you know, every great once in a while, I like to get a dowel and wrap it with a little piece of sandpaper. I happen to be using 400 right now, and I very carefully stick it down in there, and I'll just kind of go around the walls and just to kind of help scrape off a very thin layer of carbon and you know, keep it in check. If you go too long without doing that and you want to get it out of there, you might get to the point where you'll need to actually ream it, or if you prefer the sandpaper on a dowel, you know, use a bigger piece of sandpaper. if you feel frisky enough, give that a shot. Otherwise, very carefully use your reamer. The more often you do it, the less you'll have to ream each time. So it's good to get into, a little routine of doing it on a regular basis after, a certain number of smokes, or if you're smoking it regularly, set up a schedule, once every few weeks or something like that, to just go in and kind of touch up the walls and make sure there's not a lot of stuff building up in there. It would take quite a bit of cake to bust open a Meerschaum pipe, and something as thick, like with thick walls like this, obviously it's going to take a little more pressure to be able to withstand that from the cake buildup. But use your common sense, and like I said, if you do that more often, then you won't have to ream it out as much each time. You might want to be careful not to dig in, scrape, or ream into the walls, into the Meerschaum part itself. Just kind of keep that carbon cake in check and keep it from building up. And the best way to do that, of course, is like I showed, scrub it with that folded pipe cleaner after each smoke. That'll keep it in check for quite some time, and then you'll very rarely have to go in and ream it or sand it out. So there you have it. I think I've covered just about everything, and I hope a lot of people find this useful and helpful. So enjoy your Meerschaum pipes. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube for more interesting pipe videos. Go to Instagram, and the link should have popped up at the beginning of the video somewhere when I was talking about it. But go to Instagram and give me a follow on there, and then you'll get to see lots of fun pictures of the pipe making process. I'm always posting stuff when I've got a pipe on the bench. And of course, like I said, go to Facebook. My Instagram stuff pops up on there. When I post videos, I usually post it on there as well. You can follow me on Twitter, but Twitter usually just gets my reposts from Instagram. But if that's your thing, then feel free. And of course, go to my website. Lots of fun stuff to see on there. A gallery of past pipes, the Meerschaum collection of Meerschaum pipes that I've made, my briar pipes, of course, a couple of blog posts here and there. So be sure to check that out, and I hope you all enjoyed this video, found it helpful. If anybody has any questions, feel free to post it in the comments, or send me a message through my website. And if I could ever get my current backlog caught up, I'll try my best to respond. Or if you've got something really interesting, it might maybe fodder for another video post. So hope to hear from all you guys soon, and sweet smokes.